Hello, and thank you for coming to the McWaters Effect. I'm your host, Matt, and today I'm looking at AON, and they're talking about the Texas Attorney General endorses the idea of state building their own border wall. But first, I need you to hit like and subscribe. Helps the channel grow. Now let's take a look at this article. As the Army Corps of Engineers restart construction of the border wall in the Rio Grande Valley, officials in Texas may go on one step further to build their own wall in their state. All right, there's a video here, so let's go ahead and check it out and see what they have to say.
Restarts construction of the border wall in the Rio Grande Valley. Officials in Texas may go a step further to build their own wall for the state. One America's chief White House correspondent, Chanel Rion, spoke with Attorney General of Texas and has this report.
We continue our conversation with Texas Attorney General Ken Paxton, who has, at this point, filed several lawsuits against the Biden administration. Paxton tells OAN the state of Texas has had a strong track record in the courts when it comes to fighting federal overreach, but the Biden administration is still taking overreach and underaction many steps further. Talk to us about the latest out of Texas in terms of your interactions with the Biden administration. Is there any help from DHS? What's going on down there?
So it's been really surprising. You know, we had obviously difficulties under Obama when we had all these caravans coming out. It continued under Trump, and he implemented certain policies that actually worked, whether it was starting to build a wall, which I think is a long-term solution, whether it was the Stay in Mexico policy, which was a way of stopping this loophole that they were using, which was asylum, which I like the fact that we have asylum laws, but only about 14% of the people that were being reviewed were actually asylum seekers that fit the criteria.
And now they've raised that. Well, now they're seeking to raise that cap.
Right. So what was nice about this was that instead of letting these people come in and disappear and never show up for their hearing, Trump would make them stay in Mexico or another country, the country from which they came. So it actually helped stop the loophole. He also allowed Border Patrol and Customs and Immigration to do their jobs. So all these things actually started working. And Biden came in on day one and said, no more. We're going to stop building the wall. You can come across the country, we will not deport you, which is illegal. He has to follow federal law. Even if he's the president, he still is subject to the law. And he basically ignored all of these policies at work. He went the other way, and guess what? We're in a worse situation than we were even under Obama.
Texas Public Policy Foundation proposed that Texas take COVID funds that were designed to help individual states use those funds to bolster their economy or recover from the pandemic. And they've recommended that they take COVID relief money and use it towards building its own wall, having Texas build its own wall. What are the legal constraints around that? What's stopping the state of Texas, from a legal standpoint, from a constitutional standpoint, from building its own wall along the southern border to protect the state of Texas?
I actually think that's a really good idea that we build our own wall. The challenge has been cost. I mean, it's billions of dollars. We have a border that's over 1,200 miles. Obviously, we can't build a wall all the way along that border. So it's really just cost, and the fact that it's being borne by just Texas citizens is really the challenge. So I'm very intrigued by this idea that TPPF has using those funds. I don't know what the strings attached. I'm sure we'd end up in a lawsuit if we tried it, but I'm certainly open to the idea, and we'd certainly be willing to look at that as a possible way of funding what I think is an idea whose time has come.
Amazing. So it's really a question of funding, but you don't see any legal problems with this.
No, we would have to do the same thing the federal government did. We would get eminent domain, pay people fairly for the land that we're taking.
In March, Texas lawmakers proposed an amendment to pick up construction of the border wall where Trump left off. A similar amendment was also proposed in April to divert $20 million towards construction of the border wall. Both efforts were stalled by leadership in the state legislature. Chanel Rion, One American News, the White House.
Well, guys, I think it'd be a good idea for them to build their own border wall. Might as well. Texas is doing pretty good when it comes to the economy, and they don't really need the funds from the COVID relief bill, so use it to build a wall. And, yeah, they're going to get sued, but they're going to win. And Biden's starting to build a piece of the wall just across the Rio Grande Valley, which is not a very large part of the wall. It won't take long for them to finish it up. And really, I think you need a wall all the way across it. Makes more sense to me. But I used to live in Texas. I was born there, so I know quite a bit when it comes to the border. And I think if you want to stop all the illegal immigration and also all the drug trafficking, human trafficking, and everything else, you got to have a wall. You don't got a choice. And if you don't have that wall, all you're doing is allowing the cartels go in and out freely and do whatever the hell they want. And in some cases, I think that's what the Democrat Party wants. I mean, that's the only thing that makes sense to me. Why would you want to keep that open for these people to make tons of money off of? Only one reason to do that. They're getting slipped underneath the table, getting paid for allowing the cartels to do that. That's my opinion. I could be wrong. But why else would you want to have the cartel going in and out and doing the stuff they're doing? But that's my opinion. I hope y'all enjoyed the video. Please hit like and subscribe. Helps the channel grow. Peace.